Hello students, today I am going to discuss about the UPSC mains question in GS paper 2 and how it resembles to the question and the material which has been provided by our institute, that is IAS 360. You all know about the uniqueness of this institute, that we check your copy in front of you. And what is the advantage of setting the question by the faculties and discussing what to write by the faculties in front of the students? You will get to know that how the results will be very different and how your approach will be very different while writing the answers. So, taking this into our consideration, I am going to discuss the very first question of GS paper 2, and then I will tell you that where we have asked this question, and I will also give you an highlight where we have checked the copies of our students. So the very first question is, the most significant achievements of modern law in India is the constitutionalization of environmental problems by the Supreme Court. So now we all know about the famous MC Mehta case. We all know about the Motilal Yadav versus state of UP concerning the noise pollution. We all know about the Jacob versus SP of Kerala. These are the cases which is related to either water problem or to the noise pollution. So this is basically a larger perspective of environmental problem. And now if you will see our question, then I have purposefully asked about the question, that is, despite having legal safeguards to check the noise pollution has crossed its limit. Thus, Apex Court has intervened in numerous cases. It simply means I am trying to ask about the Supreme Court intervention in one of the parameters of the environmental problem, that is noise pollution. So we all know about one case, that is MC Mehta case, and if you have written this question here at IAS 360, then you will get to know three important cases of the Apex Court relating to environmental problem. Now coming to the second question, right of movement and residence throughout the territory of India are freely available to the Indian citizens. Now if you will see page number 7 of Indian polity material of IAS 360, then I have talked about right to movement in detail, taking the help of the Supreme Court cases. And also I have asked one question, that is, the fundamental rights guaranteed by Article 19 are limited by several factors. So Article 19 takes into consideration right to movement and right to protest also. Then discuss the scope of 19 and its limitation in the light of right to protest. So basically, in the first half of the question, I have asked about the holistic understanding of Article 19. And if you have read page number 7 of our Indian polity material, then directly right to movement is mentioned there. So you can easily address this question. Now, coming to the next question, that is about the Gati Sakti. I always told to my students, then you are reading about the Gati Sakti from economic perspective and you are not reading it from the cooperative federalism perspective. Therefore, if you will see page number 10 of 40 topics, 40 pages of IAS 360 material, there I have talked about the Gati Sakti and the role of cooperative federalism and private party. Now you will see the question of UPSC. The Gati Sakti Yojana needs meticulous coordination between the government and the private sector to achieve the goal of connectivity. Now, I am not telling anything. You can easily judge going through our material where I have talked about the role of the government, that is center and state, and what role the private sector can play. So I was expecting that this question can be asked in GS paper 2 from the perspective of federalism. Therefore, it becomes easy for you to write this particular question. Now, I am going to the next question. That is question number 7. The Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 remains only a legal document without intense sensitization of government functionaries and citizens regarding disabilities. Comment. Now, if you will see our question, then I have asked, what do you mean by reasonable accommodation? Discuss the significance in the light of disability rights. And whenever I was checking the copy, I will say that only 10% of the students have attempted this question, and they have asked to me, sir, why you have asked about reasonable accommodation? Then I have discussed with them that the policies of the disabilities, the rights, that is 2016 Act, each and everything has failed, and therefore a recent petition in the Supreme Court is talking about the reasonable accommodation, that our act has failed because we have observed numerous times about the discrimination against the disabilities. You can see this question in our test series on the reasonable accommodation. Now, moving to the next question, that is question number 9. This is a direct question. India is an age-old friend of Sri Lanka. Discuss India's role in the recent crisis in Sri Lanka in the light of preceding statement. Now, if you will see our question, I have asked, discuss the different sectors of cooperation under BIMSTEC, full stop, highlight how the countries in the BIMSTEC is going to be fruitful for Sri Lanka amidst its deteriorating economic condition. Therefore, I have asked here holistically about the role of BIMSTEC members, and obviously students who were writing this test here have mentioned about the India's role, that is, the India has given a line of credit of 4 billion approximately, and then I have discussed with them 5 and 6 important points that they can insert about the specific India's role. So that's about the question number 9. Now I am moving to the next question, that is question number 14. Critically examine the procedures through which the President of India and France are elected. I can recall one of the students has asked me, sir, why you have mentioned about the France election in your polity booklet of IAS 360. And I told them that for the last 2 and 3 years, questions are coming from comparison between the Indian Constitution and UK or USA Constitution. Recently, the election was held in France, and in my booklet, page number 46, IAS 360 polity material, you will find that I have mentioned about the election of president in France and how it differs from our election of president. So it becomes easy for our students. Now, the next question, question number 15. Discuss the role of Election Commission of India in the light of evolution of Model Code of Conduct. Now, if you will see our question, then I will say the question which I have asked is, the idea of free and fair election in democracy requires not only a strict action for the violation of Model Code of Conduct, but also a comprehensive amendment in RPA 1951. So now if you will see question number 11 and question number 15, it is about RPA 1951. And when I asked about MCC, I have asked it holistically about the amendment in Representative of People Act 1951. Thus, I am covering question number 11 and question number 15 simultaneously, asking both these questions in a single question of ours. Now, I am moving to the next question, that is question number 17. Do you agree with the view that increasing dependence on donor agency for development reduces the importance of community participation in developmental process? I will say that we have not asked this question directly, but I have asked question on collaborative philanthropist. So students were not aware about this, and our question was, what do you mean by collaborative approach in governance? Discuss the significance and challenges in collaborative philanthropist. So when I was discussing this question with my students, I have told them that there are 4 different models of donor agencies in the world. The very first thing is collaborative philanthropist, that is also called as impact-based philanthropist. Second is individual philanthropist, for example, Jim Premji. The third is corporate philanthropist, that is their funding, corporate social funding. And the last model of the donor agencies is community philanthropist. So when I was checking their copy in their front, I have discussed these 4 models, and I have also told them that please mention Bain study and Dalberg study, that what are the challenges in the donor agencies. So this was not the direct question which I have asked, but yes, one of the pillar of the donor agencies I have asked in the question, and when I was discussing while evaluating their copies in the front of my students, I have discussed these 4 models with them. Clear? Now, I am moving to question number 18, that is Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009 remains inadequate in promoting incentive-based system for children's education. Now, if you will see our page number 37, IAS 360 governance material, which is written by me. So basically in that particular material of IAS 360, I have talked about RTE Act 2009, its objective, its failures, and what are the suggestions. So in this way, if you have read my governance booklet, this question becomes cakewalk for you. Now, question number 19. How will I2U2, that is India, Israel, UAE, USA, grouping transform India's position in global politics? This is a UPSC question. Now, if you will see our question, that is, the Middle East, despite the Abraham Accord, is more than a volatile region in transition, comma. Thus, India's policy needs to be calibrated in the new construct of Quad in the Middle East. Here, Quad simple means I2U2 I am talking about, that is India, Israel, and UAE and USA. So basically this question I have asked has 2 parts. However, the UPSC has asked one part of that question. So in this way, you will see that in our test series and in our material, we have covered 10 direct questions, and rest of the questions can be written based on your understanding, based on the content which you have already read, or based on our discussion while evaluation, that is one-to-one evaluation which we do at IAS 360. Faculties will check your copy in your front, and it takes a lot of courage to check the copy in the front of a student, and only faculties can do. You also know it better. So that's all about the analysis of GS paper 2. I will talk about each and every question in detail a day after tomorrow of GS paper 2. And I will also come with the questions on the GS paper 3 very soon. Thanks to all of you.